Life is changing fast. We are experiencing whole new perspectives and choices. Psychic mediums Sharon Pugh and Matthew Brandau bring you insight to historical times, current events, and the very real future that we face. Sharon and Matthew are true, tested, and certified psychic mediums and life coaches. They give you straight insight with a caring, humorous touch. Join them every Thursday for a new exciting topic and call into the show for a free reading with both hosts.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Psychic Mediumship and Beyond. All of a sudden I had a brain fart. Good Lord. Okay. Well, welcome.
Oh, that was funny.
Come all
to the show. What's it called? We know what it's called. We know. I guarantee you we know, but we're not going to tell you.
I almost went, welcome to the Southern Style Medium Show, y'all. That's what it used to be called. Okay. No, you're at the right place, the right time. All right.
Right channel. He's supposed to say the bat place, bat time, and bat channel.
I know.
Oh.
All right. No, today it's a really, really cool show, and we're going to be talking about reincarnation, but some really, what is that?
That is my cell phone, and I know who it is. Somebody's calling in now for not a free reading, but a reading, and it's on my private line. So I'm shutting it all down. Don't worry, keep going.
Okay.
They call whenever they want, and I'm like, I can't take it now.
Okay. All right.
See, folks, that's what happens. We are busy. We are always giving readings to people.
Okay, and my ghosty ghost just said go. I think my ghosty ghost was saying, go away, noise, staticky noise.
Okay. Cool. All right, so on with the show.
Well, oh, God, thank God that stop. It was going, yin, 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 yin. And I was like, okay. All right, so where was I? Oh, we're going to talk about reincarnation and all of the cool things. And I posted on my Facebook page to call into the show and with the number, and the number to call in is area code 202-527.
202.
That's what I said.
I know, I'm repeating it.
Okay, 202.
202.
Oh my gosh, let me say it first and then you can say it. 202-570. Stop! 202-570-7057. And what I do, one thing that I do is I do true name analysis. And what this is it goes beyond the Google name, biblical name, but I tune into the spelling of your name, the name vibration, and I will tell you all about yourself and then share your past lives, because your past lives stems from your name. So how cool is that?
Scary for me.
I know. I need to do yours. I've never done yours, but I will.
I have 3.
You have 3 what?
Names.
Your first, middle, and last.
No, 3 names. My birth name, my adopted name, and my marriage name.
Okay. Well, I use the first name. I don't go into your middle name or your adopted name or, legal name.
Whatever.
Yeah. All right. So before we get started, if you would like to connect with me for a reading, go to psychicreadingsnow.com. And the easiest way is on my homepage is a Get an Instant Reading button. If it's green, click on it. If it's red, submit a callback request. And it's just you can get a reading right now. Super easy. And then you can call into the show. You can get a reading from me and Matt. It doesn't cost you anything. So, again, the number is 570-7057.
Cool. And what is my favorite website? Does anybody remember? Come on, folks. Call in. Tell me what my website name is.
Psychic.red.
That's right. Sharon's the winner. Damn it.
I know.
All right. So we have a very interesting topic today, and I think it's going to be fascinating for everybody. Just like Sharon said, we're going to be talking about reincarnation. And what is it? Now, disclaimer, not official, but it's a disclaimer. Nobody knows if this is real. There is no science that is recognized by peer scientific review and by any type of association that is governed through third parties, such as government science groups, government-supported science groups. There is nothing of that available out there that has been published that I am aware of. However, something is coming. Why is that? Well, Sharon did a little bit of research, and so did I, and I'm not going to talk about what Sharon looked at. She can tell you about it herself, but we are going to be talking about what reincarnation theoretically is, who or what can reincarnate, where they might reincarnate, and for the reasons of reincarnation. And there's a lot to talk about here because the theory behind all of this is very, very subjective. And because of that, it leaves a lot of doors open. Does that make sense to you, Sharon?
Yeah, it does. I mean, no, we don't have, scientific proof that we do reincarnate. But, I mean, really, okay, think about it. Besides all of the, the video of these children that actually remember, their past lives, I do remember my past life. And I know that it's not a coincidence, and I know that I was my great aunt, and and I even found the home that I grew up in that has now been turned into attorney's offices. But leaving that aside, I mean, I know in my heart, I know in my soul that we do reincarnate, and.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of more, and we'll get into the what is, let's get the what is reincarnation out of the way so we can kind of move on to the really good stuff.
Okay. You want me to talk about it, or do you?
Yeah, go ahead, and then I'll throw my 2 cents in.
Okay. What reincarnation is in theory, as far as we can look at it from the scientific perspective, theoretically, it is based upon the spirit and the soul. And what we're dealing with here is the soul is a energy source, as we all can understand that to be. When you're looking down at the cellular level, there's energy going on there. And certain scientists have actually proven that energy does have an undescribable type of consciousness. There is a certain level of awareness in that energy, but we cannot define that awareness in a standard text. We can't say, we understand what this is, read what I've written in this thesis that I've written up. We don't have that. But what we do have is an understanding that there seems to be a theory of energy having a consciousness. That is what I look at and say, that is our soul. That is our spirit. Now, don't get me wrong. Spirit and soul are considered to be two different things. One person described it, and I'll give credit to him for this because I think it's appropriate. Bob Olson, in one of his videos, audio blogs, said that he described the soul as the ocean and the spirit as waves in the ocean. And because of that, which I think is the best analogy for what we're looking at here, when you take our soul and spirit out of the container it's in, hence our body, and that's why it's also mostly water, because electricity travels through water, especially salt water, very, very easily and fluidly. When you remove it and you wish to move on or reclaim or try to understand something that happened within that lifetime, within that vessel, you would do what you then say is to reincarnate, or to put yourself into another vessel that is stronger, healthy, and has the ability to survive and to retain your soul and spiritual entity within it for a long period of time, even though the human life is actually quite short. So when it goes into that new entity or new container, the soul and spirit become part of it, and the consciousness within that body becomes alive. That consciousness is separate from the spirit and from the soul, but they do communicate with each other. So that in itself is what we would call reincarnating, creating yourself in another container. And that is what some people look at the human body as, is a container. However, our mind and our five senses can easily and most convincingly deny that that's actually correct or true. They can say, when I die, I die. That's actually not what the belief, that's a belief. That is not a scientific understanding, because nobody has any idea. You can believe in what it is, but reincarnation is a little bit more tangible, simply because of experiences people have shared with us. So how does that sound, Sharon?
Right on the line of how I see reincarnation. My perception is that we do hold that consciousness that as soon as the physical body dies, our soul is all loving, all knowing. So we're completely aware of everything that extends in the universe and beyond. We remember heaven. What I've been shown is that each soul is like a piece of God's light and holds all of that knowledge. So when we go back home, we have access to every single lifetime that we've had and every single experience. And then we choose to come back or not. And if we choose to come back, we come back and experience it may be a different gender. It may be, a different place on the planet. It may be another planet, another solar system altogether. But we come in with what I call soul DNA, which carries every emotion, every experience that we've ever had.
Mm-hmm. Cool. There is something else I forgot to add here. Sharon, are you familiar with the term string theory?
No.
Okay. String theory is what some scientists in the astrophysics area of studying space and our world are calling the God particle. And what they're saying, and this is going to blow some people away who don't have any idea what it is. For others that know about it, it's like, yeah, we've heard about this, Matthew, hurry up. String theory is based upon the idea that there is a source that is actually smaller than the actual atom. And it's linking each atom together. And that is theoretically proving that God exists, because it goes through everything. Earth, the sun, black matter, pure matter, stars and other galaxies. It's everywhere in space. Every single inch in space has the string of life, or string theory, going through it, combining all molecular particles together. And they believe that this is a possibility of what God is all about. So when you say that we pass on and we go back to God's light, you actually are saying a whopping mouthful, and you may not have even realized that your theory is tangible in scientific eyes now. How's that for a backup?
I like that because if it is all strung together, then it makes it easier to come and go. So in a sense, we're tethered all the time. We just don't know it.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. And
I,
that's the funny thing is that other people like you and I know it. But don't forget is that there's a three-dimensional world that we live in on this earth. Some people like that three-dimensional world. They don't want to go above and beyond. They want to stick right with it because it's their comfort zone. And that's fine. But we all are enlightened creatures, and that's how you and I see the rest of the world out there. We see it as enlightenment, but people are kind of lost and they want help. And that's why we're here to help them to find that guidance. Because once they decide that they're going to move on to reincarnate someplace else, maybe they'll just say, hey, by the way, I just got into this new body and I stopped by and talked to God for a minute. And he said, hey, tell Matthew and Sharon that God said hello.
it, no, I mean, that absolutely makes sense because when we are, in a lot of my readings, I do talk about reincarnation because our fears, our likes, our dislikes, our personality traits, and you know everything like that has to do with our past life. Say let's take fears. If you are this small child and you haven't been influenced one way or the other, but yet you're terrified of dogs, no reason to be, but you just are terrified of dogs. Something happened to you in a previous lifetime where you were mauled and possibly killed, by dogs. And, most people are, afraid of heights. And I will, because I'll ask somebody, I'm like, okay, do you have any fears? Do you have any phobias? What are those? And so I'll pick this back up when we get back from break. We will see you in just a moment. Stay tuned.
Cool. All right.
Conscious media for conscious minds. OMTimes. OMTimes magazine is one of the leading online content providers of positivity, wellness, and personal empowerment. A philanthropic organization, their net proceeds are funneled to support worldwide charity initiatives via Humanity Healing International. Through their commitment to creating community and providing conscious content, they aspire to uplift humanity on a global scale. OMTimes, co-creating a more conscious lifestyle.
Tune in to The Practical Intuitive, Mind, Body, Spirit for the Real World with me, host Robin Fritz, Mondays at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 Eastern. I'll cover personal and business intuition, animal communication, mediumship, space clearing, past life regression, shamanic insights, energy healing, soul choice, and more, all to help you tap your own intuitive and healing skills. No ifs, ands, or buts.
Hi, this is recording artist and composer Yuval Ran, inviting you to a voyage through the chakras, a new double album of guided meditations to transform your life, a sublime musical medicine for nourishing inner peace and reaching to your higher virtues. Get it now at metamindfulnessmusic.com, METTA mindfulnessmusic.com.
Hello, this is Matthew Brandau. My co-host and founder of Beyond Psychic Mediumship, Sharon Pugh, and I are here to provide free readings to callers. We are also taking questions by email. Our simple and clear goal is to help people find clarity in their personal journey. we go beyond the spirit and guidance of the 3D world we're in, and we look at everyone as a higher level being. Looking at the chakras, aura, energy flow, emotional position, and psychic medical intuition, we also tune into your spiritual diversity with both God and demonic influences. Our goal is to bring the clarity of your path to your personal enlightenment, and hope to be a positive influence, which you can then share with others.
In the wake of a disaster, what one thing can you send that will help people the most? A blanket, a tent, a sandbag, a doctor. Actually, if you send a monetary donation, you send all these things. Even a small donation can make a big impact and can quickly become exactly what people affected by disaster need most.
In the wake of a hurricane, your monetary donation can make a huge difference to those in need. To donate, visit supporthurricanerelief.org. That's supporthurricanerelief.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Okay, all right. Hi, everybody. Congratulations, Matthew, who made that commercial for our show. Very professional. I listened to the whole thing, and it's beautiful. So I'm excited to hear it from this show on out. Okay.
I didn't expect that to go right away. That's funny. But anyways, thank you. That's good. That's I'm glad that worked. Thank you very much.
Okay. All right. So back to let me just kind of cover really quickly on on what I was talking about before of the fears that we have. And I find so many people that are afraid of heights at some point in a lifetime, many, many, many lifetimes, potential thousands. How many of us have lived on terrain that has high cliffs or narrow passageways, and we've fallen off the cliffs or we've been pushed off the cliffs? That comes, that creates our fear of heights, and our dislikes, places that we dislike, things that we dislike, even people that we dislike. We can meet somebody and just we don't like them immediately. We had a negative relationship with that person. So just those are just some things of how our fears, likes, dislike, personality traits come into the past lives that we have had. So when you do have a fear, or you like a certain food, or you don't like a certain food, take a moment to really close your eyes, meditate, and see where, kind of find the foundation of where that is coming from. And you can connect to a previous lifetime.
Okay. I don't know about you, but you actually told me about a previous lifetime where you were on another planet, and that kind of creates a curious link to what we're talking about today as well, in regards to what I could also be, when you say reincarnation, you can also kind of think of it as a transplant. But you did some research today or yesterday or just recently regarding one particular story. Do you want to talk about that?
Is this about the young boy?
Yes.
Okay. You've got more insight to that, so would you mind sharing?
Okay. No, I don't mind at all. One of the things, folks, that's very fascinating about reincarnation is that once in a while, intentional or not, we do have people that actually come out through media or different sources that bring along with them a very powerful recognition of a past life. And it's the recall on this is so powerful that it becomes almost undeniable. And there's one particular case that comes to mind, which Sharon just learned a little bit about, which I actually also learned a little bit about a while ago. A child born in Russia, probably about a teenager right now. He had a recall, but his recall is not a reincarnation on this earth that you would expect. He actually reincarnated on this earth from another planet. Folks, if you can believe this, he says he reincarnated here from Mars. Now, how is that possible? Well, in his recollection, what he talks about in detail that I can't get into right now because the show is too short for that, he talks about what he did as an adult when Mars was actually habitable. And not only was it habitable, it not only contained one race of beings. That's a really cheesy word for what I was looking for. It contained multiple beings from different races. So it's kind of like being a big dog, and next door to you, you have, who knows, small dogs, really lions, cats, whatever. The diversity, he claims, was huge. But there was a problem. The same problem seems to be here on Earth, and he's a little bit bothered by it. Not as extreme, but he is bothered by it. He was a pilot on Mars. Their technology, compared to here, was just tremendous. And he admits that our technology is very, very young still. But his reincarnation allowed him to recall everything that he can remember. And as he gets older, he admits it's fading away. Why is that? I can't explain that to you. I just can't. But he is remembering a lot of this. And the point of this is that reincarnation is not limited to the human's theory. Reincarnation, if proven to be factual, applies to all living things, in my opinion. Some people say it's only for humanoids or aliens of that type of thing. I think Sharon might believe that, but I believe it might be more than just human or humanoids or beings that have consciousness and probably a consciousness of zero or a consciousness beyond zero up to 1 or 2. And right now the Earth is considered a zero level for a consciousness. That doesn't mean we don't have it. It's what we consider to be a baby planet by scientific terms. So this kid came over here and he knows that he was brought here by a type of vessel, and I don't mean a large vessel, I mean a vessel that might sit in your hands. And he says he knows his soul was actually put into this vessel and brought here to Earth, and he was reborn with this soul connected to the baby, and that's why he's growing up with it. Sharon, can you even grasp what the heck that means?
You know, I'm hanging on every word that you're saying. And you had mentioned okay, why did his memory of this fade as he gets older? And I've got an answer to that question.
Fire
Up
away.
until the age of 4, we are closest to the veil, which means that up until the age of 4, we can retract our soul contract. We can go back and do it all over again. But there are periods in our lifetime when we are, closer to, to heaven. And that's up until the age of 4, and then again at puberty, and then again days within us physically passing. We come back in. It's like all of the knowledge, all that knowledge that little boy has, all those memories have not faded. It's he's pushed away and say, okay, you've got to do what it is that you came here to do. So you're not allowed to remember as much because you'll get distracted. And it's almost like this numbing suit that we wear. And which is why when I work with families that have children that, that see spirits and they have experiences, when I work with them, I'm like, listen to your child, because right now, the first thing I ask is, how old is your child? And if they say, 3, 4, I'm like, you better listen to that child, because they are retain. They can remember their past lives. They can remember heaven. They can remember everything that is metaphysical that's going on around us that, we can't see. And what you said is absolutely correct. We are a baby planet. I mean, this planet is very new, and we've lived in the scope of reality. We've lived very, 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 very few lifetimes on this planet. I mean, even 1,000 lifetimes is just nothing compared to what we have, how many times we have incarnated.
Well, that's actually an interesting thing that you bring up, because a short point is as I've said in other shows, I don't believe that we're alone on the Earth. I think we are sharing the Earth, just like Mars shared itself openly with others. I think we are sharing this planet with other species that are humanoid, intelligent. But this particular time around, the awareness of us knowing about other species is quite limited. Why is that? I don't know. But one of the species that is on this planet, I believe, to be accurate, is known as the tall whites. And Sharon, when you say thousands of years old, do you know how real and accurate you are according to what I'm believing in? The tall whites is what they're called. Now, they're all over the world, but there are some places where they're centralized, and one of them is out towards Nevada. And they average lifespan for one of their kind is 1,000 years. 1,000, not 100 like us. 10 times more, 10 times longer. Wrap that around reincarnation. Where do I want to go now? I think I want to live for 10,000 years. Maybe, no, let's say I'll live for 1,000 years. Yeah, I like to live. Okay, which one do I want to choose on this planet? Well, if you go for this one, you can only live for 100 years. Over this one, you can live for 1,000 years, and that one over there is 5,000. Which one do I choose?
I actually like 100, because I've had those windows into heaven and what it looks like.
Okay.
All right. Well,
so we're back now.
Okay. Ta-da! I'm going, okay, all right, well, that just got cut off. Okay, so, where we were is, I mean, everything that you're saying makes sense. And I know that we're going to throw a lot at you, and we've got a limited amount of time, but I did want to talk a little bit about, do pets reincarnate? Oh, absolutely. Do pets, do dogs come back as cats? I've never seen that. They may, but pets do come back. I just worked with a client yesterday, and I was doing an animal communication reading, and her past dog that she had as a young child was the dog that she just lost. And so I've been able to find a link and go, okay, all right, you had a dog, and it was this breed, this color, and now you have this dog. They're the same dog. So, I mean, Matthew, me and you talked about, do people come back solely as humans, or can they come back as animals? I say no, and it doesn't mean that, that they don't, but I have no proof of that. I've never seen that. But one thing I do want to share that I found fascinating that I saw on a video is they hooked up the special wires to a sunflower, and that sunflower created music that sounded like an angelic choir. It was the most beautiful thing I'd ever heard. And I'm like, okay, if this sunflower can create music that sounds like angelic choir, there's something to this. So what do rose bushes give off? Are we going to find out that trees and plants hold a consciousness that we haven't tapped into yet?
There's a lot of people that are using diagnostic equipment for that right now, and they're beginning to say, yes, they do have a consciousness. One of the tests that they're doing, it was in a college, not in the United States, but in another country, and I think perhaps it was in China or Japan. They were told, these students in this college, to look at these two plants. One was right next, semi right, one next to each other, and they told to one of the plants, talk nasty to this one and talk positive to this one, and the results within a month were dramatic. They treated them the exact same way with earth and water and sunlight. They were treated identically, but the one that received negative energy compared to the positive energy was significant. You could tell that one was just miserable and the other one was very happy. So there is something to that. I think you're right.
Oh, wow. Okay, all right, we're going to break for commercial. We will be right back, folks.
The Real Conscious Connection. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
Have you wondered how to change your love paradigm? The secret key is finding a love partnership, not just a regular connection. How do you find these? Through conscious relationships. Ascending Hearts Dating is a dating site for people like you that believes in second chances and a different type of spiritual connection. Try Ascending Hearts for free at ascendinghearts.com and change your love paradigm. Ascending Hearts, the premier dating community for the spiritually awake.
Hi, I'm Kelly Fox, host and astrologer of The Astrology Show. Each week, I'll give you access to the current transits, which are a valuable tool that provide astrological information to help unlock the potential each of us has. Understanding the stars can help steer us in the right direction to make better informed choices. So if you're wondering what's going to happen in your week ahead, be sure to tune in to The Astrology Show for guidance, Mondays at 9 p.m. Eastern Time.
Hi, this is New Age Grammy winner Paul Avgerinos. Thanks for listening to OMTimes Radio, and please support my peaceful healing music with a purchase at iTunes, Amazon, or wherever you shop for fine music. Just put my name into the search engine, Paul Avgerinos. A, V like Victor, G like George, E-R-I-N-O-S. You can also visit me at roundskymusic.com. Thanks for listening, and I'm wishing you the brightest of blessings.
I can't believe he found them.
He seems sorry.
We very clearly told him not to look up there.
I'm honestly impressed that he was able to do it.
Right? But did he balance on that big chair? Or...
Yeah, I mean, I guess he'll just know what his gifts are this year.
I really thought we had hidden them well.
If they can find their presents, they can find a gun.
911, what is your emergency?
Every day, 8 kids and teens are unintentionally killed or injured by loaded and unlocked guns. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and End Family Fire.
All right, folks. Well, we had an awakening moment here that Sharon and I were just discussing before we went off into the commercial break. And a quick apology to everybody out there is that we had a technical glitch and we went off air for just a moment. So we do apologize for that, but we are back, thankfully, and everything's working smoothly. So a big thanks to our background engineer and what he's doing to make sure that things run smoothly. He's doing a great job. We're thankful for that. as far as what's going on with this, it's really, Sharon, it's amazing that you're absolutely right that it's amazing that they are measuring now the ability to see plants have energy and the fact that, can plants come back as plants or can people come back and become a plant if they want to, or do they come back and become a highly evolved creature? And even more so is, imagine, Sharon, can you possibly see is a human being saying, you know what, this time I want to come back as Sasquatch? How's that?
Okay. I don't know what to say.
I could just see this when the Sasquatch has a memory recall. The only words out of his mouth are going to be, "Oh no."
I don't know. I mean, if you do you want my 2 cents on the Sasquatch theory?
Fire away. Oh, by the way,
Okay.
before you give the 2 cents, make sure people know they can call in.
Okay. All right. Yes. Feel free to call into the show for a free reading, and I'm talking real slow so I can get the number. Here it is. Okay. All right. Area code 202 202-570-7057. So call in, get a free reading, and again, one thing that I mentioned on there is I can do a name analysis for you. Our just going back, and I wanted to touch on the name and how it has to do with the past life, but what you were talking about, because I think me and you different our opinion on can we come back, as different things, and I don't have proof of that, but I do believe that you feel it's more possible.
Yeah, well, I do believe it's possible, but again, you said something near the beginning of the show, which is very true. We don't have any proof. We don't know for sure. So I will be the first to say, you know what? It's what I think is right. I think is true, but I can't say it's a fact. I can't. So I will defer and say, Sharon, you might be right. It may just be intelligence to intelligence and dogs to dogs, cats to cats, plants to plants. I don't know. It would make more sense, so to speak, but I don't know. But there is one thing that is also very important here that we were also talking about when it comes to this. People have also come back because of trauma. And when they come back, they can actually go and say, hey, I remember what happened in my past life, like you did, Sharon. But then they can say, hey, wait a minute, I was, let's say, murdered, let's say killed. There's a story of a child who knew exactly where he was buried, the name, the person who killed him, and the tool that was used to kill him with. And he even knew the person and the name and where they were. So they went to this place, he identified the person, and for some strange reason, the person admitted to killing him. Now, I don't know about other people, but that seems pretty factual, does it not?
I mean, yeah. I mean, he would. How old was this child?
I'm guessing probably. I think it was somewhere between 8 and 12 years old, because my memory doesn't serve very good on numbers.
Okay.
But he wasn't 4. He was communicating.
So, I mean, if he was 12, going through the puberty, his, his spiritual gifts were going to open up. So those memories can come back. And
I'm just impressed the fact that they were able to document it.
Oh, I mean, absolutely. I mean, so it's like when we get enough proof, this is something that I would love to see more people get in touch with, and also use it in therapy, is finding out a lot of our, like I spoke about before, a lot of our fears are likes, dislikes, personality traits, depression, anxiety. It comes from more things than what is going on biologically with us. It has a tremendous amount to do with our past lives. I promise you that. And I'm actually I'm going back to school to become a master practitioner for tap therapy. So
Really?
it's going to take me a while to do this, but it's something that I am going to, and it's basically, using different areas of the body, tapping, affirmation, to help with, depression, anxiety, emotional trauma. And so I'm very excited about that. I'm kind of in the beginning stages of, of the schooling, but, very, very excited. And I want to take this and use it to stem into the past lives. Because as you said, okay, this little boy remembers when he was murdered. Say he was shot in the head or stabbed in the chest. Our medical history, our health problems, are collective of every single lifetime that that we had. I myself, I died. I hate to use the word die because there's no such thing as death, but I passed in January 1956 of heart failure. And I have had.
Oh, God, you confused me there for a moment. Okay, gotcha. Go ahead.
No, yeah. But I have had episodes where my heart will go crazy, and I've been rushed by ambulance and put in the cardiac ICU. And at the time, it's saying that my heart is failing, but then all of a sudden, my heart is fine. And I know where it's coming from, but it's like I don't want to tell the doctors, well, hey, doc, I passed in January 1956 of heart failure, and those are just soul DNA memories coming through. Don't worry about it, nothing wrong, and I'm like running on the treadmill doing the stress test, and
hey,
I'm
doc,
like,
listen, it's past life regression. What are you gonna do?
it is, but it happens all the time. People that have foot pain, that they have no reason, no structural reason to have foot pain. They in a past life, they had to walk, and they walked and they walked and they walked until they passed. So I promise you, things that go on with you health wise are bits and pieces of previous lifetimes that you had. And it does stem from the crown chakra at the very top of the head, the brow, the third eye, the throat chakra, the heart chakra, the solar plex chakra, which is the abdomen, the sacral, which is the pelvis, and the root chakra, which is at the tip of the tailbone. So there is to it on a health and emotional level. We are bringing in a ton of past lives. I'm just telling you, it's true.
I agree with you. There's a lot of things we're doing right now that are going on in history, and I think there's something else that I'm going to be talking with Sharon about a little bit too, because I think it might be of interest, is that we are touching on fields that some people have a great interest in, but we only have 1 hour, or not even that. We have a little less than an hour to be able to discuss these things. One thing I'm going to be chit-chatting with Sharon about, which is an idea that popped into my head, is we might do a two-way video which people then can watch and leave recordings on YouTube. And I think that might be a future possibility, but Sharon and I will discuss this and other ideas so that we can expand what we're doing and reach as many people as possible on things that Sharon has a great amount of wisdom in, and gives us a little more time on the air to do things that people might have an interest in, but don't always have the time to go live or whatever, just other opportunities. Does that sound like an interesting idea, Sharon?
It does. I mean, because me and you both have so much information that I just feel is downloaded and not enough time to get it out there. And because I've started several, articles about things that I want to submit to OMTimes magazine, OMTimes Media,
cool.
OMTimes Radio. So I plan on doing that, but it's kind of, I know we've covered, what is reincarnation? Why do we come back, and pets, and but when do we stop coming back, and why?
Now that's a big one. And I, be honest with you, Sharon, I don't know. I cannot tell you when it stops because I don't know. I theoretically, we've learned everything we could learn, but I don't think that's possible because that would mean that we are equal to, if not becoming, God. And I don't think that is something that we can do. I think it just goes on and on and on. I don't know. Maybe there is an end. What do you think?
I've got my hand raised. It's like I know.
Okay.
And this is what I've been told, because I'm constantly getting answers to questions, that I ask. And what I have been told is that Earth is the lowest vibrational planet. It is the planet that holds the most negativity. It is the hardest gravity-wise. It is the hardest to be in a vessel, a physical body. So
what about Jupiter?
I'm just, I don't know. I don't know about Jupiter, but I mean, I know
because they say it rains diamonds there because of the amount of gravity.
I don't know if we've ever lived on Jupiter, but just the answers. I mean, I don't know, but just Earth itself.
Okay.
We come to Earth, we incarnate to Earth because it is the most, this is what I've been told, the most difficult planet to live on because of the negative emotions, the hate. And
that makes some sense.
And it's a true challenge to be here. So there are evil, Earth holds evil, and it holds the highest vibrational, beautiful souls. And so we come here to experience the raw emotions and the challenges. When we are done here on Earth, and again, I work with a lot of parents that have lost children. And one of the things that I always ask their child.
Ooh, we got to watch our time.
Okay. Is what is it that your parents had to learn? And I get the same thing. To lose and learn to love and keep going. And they're done. So once a parent loses a child, they're done here on Earth. They don't come back.
Okay. Well, that's an interesting perspective. I have to draw the line and say I'm not really too sure. But on that note, we've only got a few minutes left, so I want to say this has been a very fascinating show, and look out for us in a few different places in the near future, and we're going to be continuing on. And if anybody's interested in getting a reading from myself, all you have to do is go to a smartphone-friendly website called psychic.red. And you can contact me or just psychic.red, and through that you can email reading, instant reading, or pay for a half an hour, an hour-long reading, and we'll go from there. Sharon? Okay,
if you want to reach me for a reading, go to psychicreadingsnow.com. It'll switch over into SharonPugh.com. You can put in SharonPugh.com. It all goes to the same website. Again, the easiest way to reach me is by an instant no-wait reading, pay by the minute. And please join my new public figure Facebook profile page on Facebook. It's Psychic.
Good Lord!
That was redundant. Okay, go to Facebook. Type in Psychic Medium Sharon Pugh. Join my page.
Oh my God, that's so funny. Yeah, that's now, folks. Unfortunately, I'm not on Facebook, so psychic.red. Take care, folks. Thanks for listening in.
All right, we'll see you next week. Bye.